Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Steve Huffman, of course, is co-founder and CEO of Reddit. He joins us here live at the Bloomberg Tech Conference. Earlier this week, I was covering your earnings, and the first earnings that you guys had as a publicly traded company. You guys just knocked it out of the park.
We had a nice quarter. We're happy with it. Revenue 48%, users 37%. I think it's a great way to start. I think we're pretty happy with it.
What was it that worked well for you for the quarter?
Well, like the way I've been describing it to folks is our work is working. And so this has been a multi-year effort of making Reddit, like it's easy to say, easier to use, faster, easier to sign up, easier to find your home, and it's paying off.
We should know, when you say multi-year, you don't just mean like a couple of years. I mean, Reddit is like a company that is almost as old as Facebook at this point, and it was a much longer path to an IPO.
So we started the company in 2005. I mean, and we've had a journey, right? We sold the company, it spun out, I left, I came back. I'd say really the kind of modern era of Reddit started in 2015. That's when I came back. But it was really a couple of years ago where I told the company, I was like, we need to quit being so academic about our work and just make Reddit better. Just focus on quality.
Well, so talk to us a little bit about how you do and continue to make it better. There was a quote, I think, on the earnings about you saying building the next generation of Reddit. So how do you think about that, Steve, in a world where we are talking a lot about AI? We know the data that you guys have on your platforms, it's smart data, it's targeted data. What is the next generation of Reddit? What does that really mean?
So Reddit is people, right? People create community, they have incredible conversations. So really what we're doing is revealing that. Now, as it happens, people, our users, but any people really, they have I think a deep down need for community and a sense of belonging, and that's what we provide. Now, at the same time, these conversations they're having are totally unique on the internet. And so where increasingly more and more content online is written by AI, is written by machines, there's a premium now on content that's made by humans or comes from humans. And I think people have a craving increasingly for that realness as well.
I'm wondering about the content policy that you guys rolled out today, because the whole idea here is to create a place for Reddit content to actually help train AI models. You have a deal right now out there with Alphabet's Google to help it train its AI models. What works about Reddit's content, and how do you balance that with making sure that the people who contribute there feel like they're not contributing to developing an AI algorithm?
So Reddit has been open for a long time, and we love that about Reddit. And we've been very well indexed in search, in Google search, for example. And I think of AI, the AIs that we've seen, as like Search 2.0. And so it's important for us, or we like Reddit being out there and our content being out there. It helps users find their home on Reddit. It helps people get answers to questions. I think this is very powerful. But what we announced this morning is that we can't just be completely permissive. We have to be very picky about who we work with. And we're going to work with partners like Google who will do so on our terms, right? Not reverse engineer the identity of our users, not try to use public content on Reddit to target ads or things like that, but really use it for what it's intended for, which is advancing the state of the art and helping people find their home on Reddit.
It does feel like we're going into a new generation, maybe a more informed generation, if you will, when it comes to the social media world. Is that fair after seeing some of the stumbles of kind of the first round, if you will?
So the way I think about this ecosystem...
And I'm not just saying Reddit, I'm just talking more broadly social media.
Sure. Well, so Reddit... remember, we started in 2005, so we actually predate the word social media and the idea of influencers.
There was a time when that happened.
Yeah, and so I feel like we're kind of going through this evolution where Reddit's becoming more mainstream, and increasingly people who maybe have grown up with social media are seeing that, hey, there's another way, and this might be a better way or a better fit for them, right? Because Reddit is free of a lot of the, I think, incentives or misincentives that cause people to behave unnaturally. Like on Reddit, people just help each other, and you don't get credit for it in real life. So the only reason you do it is because you enjoy doing it, and I think that's really special.
Yeah, I feel like I'm actually so late to the party. I've talked about this. I talked about this during your IPO.
He's been obsessed. I can't tell you every time he talks about it on air.
I'm not a young person, and like I basically feel like I just discovered Reddit, and it's probably the platform that I spend the most time on. It has communities for, I'm a cyclist, I live in a certain part of New York, like I can follow all of these communities, and it's super helpful too with like home improvement stuff. I'm finding it. How do you get more people like me to find it sort of later in their?
Hey, you're doing your part.
I am, but I feel like my brothers are like, yeah, this has been around forever.
Do you want him? Is he too
Like,
old in terms
hey,
of
wait a
demographics?
second.
Well, so this is the funny thing about our demographics. That what we're seeing is people age out of social media and they age into Reddit. And so we tend to pick people up, we call them emerging adults, maybe in their early 20s, late teenage. The peak of the bell curve is maybe 25, but I've increasingly seen 60 and 70-year-olds on Reddit. The way I describe it is whatever you're into or going through, just in life, it's on Reddit somewhere. It's just people. And so, yeah, I think the platform is a little older.
Well, something that you've brought up a lot lately is the idea of when you're Googling something, you actually find Reddit answers in Google. How big of a traffic driver is that to you?
It's a big one.
Like how big?
It's come and gone. It's come and gone over the years. But we've been seeing more traffic from Google because we made the website much faster, and Google likes speed. So faster website, rank higher. And then again, I think there's been this secular shift towards people want to hear from other real people, and that's what we provide. And I think Google's pretty good just as a search engine of figuring out what are people actually looking for. It happens to be Reddit right now.
What's it like to come back to the company?
So it's 9 years ago. When I came back to Reddit, it was going through a difficult time. But look, I love Reddit so much. I think Reddit is so important and the opportunity is so big that, honestly, it's my dream job. I feel so thankful to have this job and to have had it twice, once the first time and having come back. It's sometimes I just kind of pinch myself. I feel so incredibly fortunate.
And being a publicly held company.
I think IPOing it's a big milestone, but I've likened it to getting married. A lot of planning, a big special moment. But we went out on a Thursday, and on Monday it's like, okay,
go to work.
Back to work. Where do you see yourself fitting in the social media ecosystem? Is it you have TikTok, you have Meta platforms, which owns Instagram. You have YouTube. They just dominate. Where do you fit in?
We've been doing our own thing for such a long time. If you were to look at our traffic, you would not see the rise or fall of any other social media platform. And so we've kind of grown up in our own image. We like the way we do things. And what we're seeing is that people increasingly just appreciate the Reddit way versus maybe what you'd find somewhere else.
The biggest challenge for you guys going forward, what do you see that as?
So I think it's similar to that last question, staying true to our values and the way we do things. And so I often remind the company, we're here for a reason. We get to survive because we've done things the Reddit way. And it means sometimes we've maybe not grown as fast as we could have because we said, hey, that doesn't fit the way we do things. And so I think we have to take pressure to grow and pressure to do things this or that and just filter them through, well, how does it fit Reddit? And how do we make sure we stay true to ourselves?
Yeah, which can be tough as a publicly held company, as you know.
It can be tough, but I think we're ready for it.
Listen, Steve Huffman, you are ending our show and our coverage here and just on a high point. So thank you so much and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you. I
really appreciate it.
Steve Huffman, the co-founder, of course, and CEO of Reddit. That's a wrap, guys. Bloomberg Business Week finishing up here at the Bloomberg Technology Summit.